veiny monsters that destroy cities. This is your episode because this is Between Nerds. Jerry Elias, Aldo Mendez, and we're talking about SSSS.
Dynazenon.
Dynazenon, yeah.
So we are watching, I think it's a super secret cyber samurai or something like that.
Yeah.
SSSS.Dynazenon. It is based off, so SSSS.Dynazenon is based off of the hive mind that was the Ultraman universe in the 70s and 80s.
What was the SSSS stand again?
I watched it at a YouTube video and now I'm not entirely sure. And I remember thinking it was dumb because one of the S's sounded like it was supposed to be a C. So it's like super secret cyber samurai.
Yeah, cyber definitely has a C.
Yeah, so I don't even know if that's true. I don't even know.
Probably not.
But,
I don't know.
But the SSSS series as animated by Studio Trigger is I guess like an anime verse now. Like it's separate series in the same universe. As executively produced by Studio Trigger. The main writer is still the original creator of the Ultraman universe, Keiichi Hasegawa. And I think it's lit. I think it's real good. I liked SSS's.Dynazenon a lot. I didn't want it to end. I watched like the first like 10 episodes in like a day, and then I didn't watch anything for like 4 days because I didn't want it to end.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's a lot funner than the first one, though. We watched SSSS Gridman.
Yes.
What? Maybe a year and a half ago?
Maybe 2 years ago. It was really early on.
It was early.
It was super early on.
It was not even like triple digits.
No. For sure. I'm not even sure if it was double digits. It probably was. It was probably like 11 or 12.
Yeah,
though.
probably. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Cause we like kaijus. You know what I'm saying?
Love kaijus.
You know. It seems. Am I wrong to say that I kind of missed like kind of organic kaijus? Cause he feels like a bunch of robots to me.
But before I answer that question, I was right, but they're dumb and they purposely misspelled cyber.
Nice.
So it's superhuman samurai cyber squad, but cyber with an S.
And you know what? Did you ever watch? Well, yeah, of course you watch Power Rangers. Of course.
Bro, I was getting. That's what I mean about not wanting to end. And like, I feel like I haven't watched anything like this in so long. It tickled like this itch in the back of my brain that I forgot existed.
And see, I didn't feel that with Gridman for some reason. That dynamic here on Dynazenon on it's just like Power Rangers. And now that we're talking about it, I realized that I'm like, oh yeah.
Which was the point of the it's because maybe that was a mess up on my part last time because like we were already watching so many hitters, you know what I mean? Like episode 11, 12, whatever it was. And the Gridman animation is purposely worse. And what I mean by that is there was a directing decision when Gridman came out that the CGI kaiju and monsters are purposely animated like guys in a rubber suit, like the original Godzillas and Power Rangers and Beetleborgs and stuff like that, right? So they look really clunky and they look equally well. They look clunky in Dynazenon, but they look a little lesser so. Like, it's still clearly animated to look like a guy in a rubber suit, but, like, they toned it down a little bit.
Correct. And, like, to the point of the name of making that, like, choosing to spell, like, cyber like that.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so made, it's like, the point of view, it's like the makeshift, the imagination kind of sci-fi that it is.
Yeah.
That is guys in rubber suits. It's like, this is so fake that we even misspell cyber.
It's totally just like a nerd from the late 70s wet dream. You know what I mean? So like Studio Trigger was made by Hiroyuki Imeyashi. He was the lead director and producer for Gurren Lagann. And like I love him for that. But like Studio Trigger is so much just like an Imaishi just hive mind. It's like a God, it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show or something. You know what I mean? It's like this cult following that people that are already in that headspace will fucking just get off on, but it's not very welcoming to like new fresh faces.
Correct. Yeah, but it is awesome I did miss the monster aspect in Gridman, as far as like them being actual like fleshy, type of weird blood kind of monsters.
They keep saying kaiju, but it's a robot.
Yeah, it's a robot. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, this is fucking SSS Gundam, or Voltron.
Yup. I felt the same way.
But
I think they're cool designs, but I don't think it's a kaiju.
But what I mean about like the difference between, I guess I guess I'm just trying to be some like fucking highbrow, but like I feel like the density in like the story of each individual here in Dynazenon, is that they put a little like depth into all the characters.
Yeah, they did. And the point, well, that was also a point of Gridman. So I understand why you didn't like that part in Gridman, but that was a directing decision because just setting the groundwork, the SSSS Gridman was about an alien that is also a virus, a la Ultraman. That's the original Ultraman plot, that met a socially awkward, like bullied girl and let her create like her own universe, like a little pocket dimension, so to speak. And in that pocket dimension, what that virus alien thing is feeding off of is destruction and human emotion, like fear. So in this pocket dimension, it still has real people in it, but the virus, the alien, is allowing her to create kaijus, and via like a child's imagination, it can help instill real fear because she's making really big, scary, lifelike, imaginative monsters. So Ultraman invades this pocket dimension via like the Ultra universe, via the Grid universe, via the internet. It's like the Matrix. But in doing so, he like loses his memories and turns into a child in this new pocket universe. And it's up to him to so that's why like early Gridman just feels like Monster of the Week, kind of like little kids. It's a big kaiju in the sky. I got to turn into Gridman. Let's go, everybody.
It does, and I missed that in Dynazenon. And also, if I do have something to say, it will be about like the motivations of like our enemy.
Oh yeah,
and then the fact that they connected the kaiju element of this, which is a big monster destroying a city.
Yep.
Like them attaching that conflict to a group of people also kind of like diminishes the whole point of like the kaiju, because now it's just like this little group against this little group.
I didn't hate it because that was also what Gridman was about. Because the kaijus weren't actual monsters; they were just little putty little things that were made by a child. It reminded me of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, because none of the monsters in that one were actual monsters; they were just pieces of goo that I forget her name. That the witch chick would just turn
Odiosa or
whatever her name. So it reminded me of that kind of.
Yeah, they're monsters, and then she hits them with like fucking magic, so it's
lightning or something. It was like magic lightning. Yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was wild.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But no, Gridman is really. I mean, Dynazenon. It's really good.
One last point. The very last scene in Gridman is that it's one of those like it's the ending to what's the Dream movie?
Daft Punk?
No. The actual movie.
Inception.
Yeah, the ending to Inception, where it's like, is it a dream? Was it not a dream? And then it cuts.
I was thinking of Daft Punk too.
Yeah. But like, so it's a typical like it's kind of a highbrow ending because it's supposed to get the audience being like, ooh, what really happened? But like so the whole thing's Gridman's an anime, and then the very last scene is a live action Japanese schoolgirl waking up in her bed with her school alarm going off, and you see her uniform and you see all this. So it's like, was it all a dream? Did because
there were some toys involved too, right? There were some figurines.
There were figurines and toys that look like Ultraman and stuff like that. But so like the ending of the animated portion, it's like, you accidentally created your pocket dimension because of an evil virus alien. We're going to send you back. Love you, bye. And then it turns into live action. But she looks more like the imaginary best friend that she made up in the anime than she does like the purple-haired main character girl, even though the girl with the purple hair is the one that created the pocket dimension. So it's like more questions than answers, which is cool. It's cool. Like you don't need to be spoon-fed everything.
Yeah. No, I get you. And I guess that point wasn't brought on an episode. maybe.
It was, but you were like really sour because you hated it. And like that's like the very end, and I think I was still trying to discuss things like linearly. So like maybe it's my fault, not discussing it in the beginning, but like I did express it in episode, but you were like so like over it, you weren't listening.
Yeah, it's because I don't know. I do have and this is why we watch this shit weekly, dude. Because even this that we watched 2 years ago, like, I'm having a problem remember what I felt the first time that I watched it.
I watch YouTube videos. You saw me, yeah.
You know,
or I listened to the original episode this week.
I did.
Listen,
and
yeah,
you know
I did
what? I was
listen to
wanting to do that, but I just didn't get around to it.
It's all right. I've got this weird brain that I can listen to things at 2 times speed.
Yeah.
I can only listen to things at 2 times speed. Like YouTube videos, podcasts, I listen to everything at 2 times speed.
Hell yeah. ADHD is great.
Weird brain.
Yeah.
And what were you gonna say? I think I cut you off.
Well, I was just gonna talk about Dynazenon.
I like the animation.
The animation, the 3D models.
Studio Trigger's never done wrong by me. Even like the character models, like the regular 2D character models. You know what I mean? Like there's a chick with like there's like 3 girls with like grayish purple hair again, like that first girl.
And the character design is great.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it starts with like some homeless man with red hair and like mummy bandages, like assaulting a kid with blue hair.
We have a water park episode, rare.
We do have a water park episode. I thought that with adults.
The beach.
With adults.
Yeah, it's like the beach episode, but cooler.
I appreciated that they were actual fucking adults, though.
Yeah, dude. It starts crazy, man, and there's a lot of, I don't know, I guess there's a lot of hints to, it's kind of more a slice of lifey.
It is. It is because like the main plot isn't the kaijus. It's like people in this everyday small suburb of Tokyo just have everyday shit going on. You know what I mean? It's a broken family from the loss of a daughter. It's a family trying to like double up by this kid's mom is dating a guy and he's trying to be nice to him, so he loads his would-be stepdad even though he hasn't. We don't see him being wronged in any way, really. It's typical stuff. It's a
girl who's like trying to trying to get past her sister's death.
Yeah,
some crazy shit.
It's a guy in his 20s, like not wanting to be part of like the rat race and not wanting a real boring like office job, and just wanting to sit around playing his Switch and just hang it. But it's not only that.
Around his trash. Is that dude?
Yeah. But it's not only that. It's that like he's a bad influence on his cousin, on his middle school age cousin, which makes it like that much worse. Because it's like, dude, like it's fine if you fuck yourself up, whatever. You're a fucking adult. But like if like don't take the kid down with you, like that's terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of these. I guess that was your original point. Like the characters are a bigger motivation than the kaijus.
Yeah, because they use like the last 7 minutes of each episode to give you like a kaiju anything. Yeah, which is cool. I like
the transformations.
The transformations are really cool.
I looked up the toys. I was looking up the Dynazenon toy, like for one that actually like transforms and stuff like that.
Once that girl gets that golden dragon robot,
Goldburn.
Yeah, Goldburn. That one's dope.
I like Goldburn a lot. I like Goldburn. It's because he looks like a Godzilla villain.
Yeah, and I like how they almost used by like one note, like the same song from a Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like, dun, 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 and then like they switch like the last beat. Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's real cool. And I remembered a lot of Gridman, right? And I remembered like that whole thing about it being a dream. So I went most of this season being like, is it all going to be a dream? Like, how much am I supposed to believe right now? So maybe that made it a worse watch for me because like I remembered Gridman so well, because when we watched it, that was my second time watching it, that I was like, is this like specifically a fake to the audience? Like, or like, am I going to be invested and then you're just going to try to pull the rug out from under me?
There was a lot going on to be that way though.
Yeah,
because you were gonna be like, well, who's gonna get faked out right here?
A lot of the I almost said scene direction, but that's not entirely true. A lot of like the chosen scenes, like the scenery in the background of outdoor scenes, reminded me a lot of FLCL. Because it's a lot of like hanging out by the river channel that runs through the town. It's a lot of hanging out by bridges. It's a lot of like
it's like
kids.
classic like locations.
Yeah,
it's like a trope almost.
Yeah. Like angsty teenager hanging out by the river. I've seen that before.
Substation. Yeah.
I've seen that before. And the point to Dynazenon, the actual plot to Dynazenon, is that like they basically get the plot's also hard because the kaiju users, I'm still not entirely sure what their history is. So we get this guy in episode 1. He's the guy with the sunken eyes and the red hair or like pinkish hair that you see on the cover of like the anime Galma. And he like just kind of appears one day and he just seems like this hungry homeless dude.
He has he has like bags under his eyes, but they look like bruises at the same time. He looks like shit.
He looks like shit. And he's wearing like bandages over his chest.
Yeah, for a pink-haired like character, like they did cool.
Not a lot of dudes with pink hair that we see in anime.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I thought that was neat, and it didn't emasculate him.
Oh, I know which one. The stupid ass psychic one.
Who?
Those the main character in Psychic. Is a psychic one? Yeah. The anime psychic, the guy with the pink little thingies.
In Psychopath? In Mob Psycho?
No.
Which psychic anime? I'm a little lost. Well, while you're looking for that answer, Galma finds Yomogi. And Yomogi's like gonna be the titular character here. And like he's cool because he's like an adolescent coming into adulthood, like teenage character that we've seen a million times. Oh, I've never actually seen Psyche.
I ain't never seen it.
I've never seen it.
No, I heard a lot of shitty things about it though.
Yeah, me too. But anyways,
but if you recommend it, we'll watch it.
I think Yomogi's cool because he is he's not like the typical like character I hate. That like he's young, but like the anime will just inject so much plot into him that like he's vulnerable. He's so cool. He's supposed to be who nerds are supposed to like emulate off of, and he seems like a real guy. You know what I mean? Like he has real motivations. He asks real questions. Like really early on, the ship is obviously going to be him and Yume, like the girl with like it's like grayish like purple hair.
I thought she was going to be a cunt.
I thought there was going to be a secret plot that she was actually related to the kaiju user that has like a similar hairstyle.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was going to be something like that.
Yeah, she probably might have been that sister. She probably never died.
But the other chick was 5,000 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But that's the obvious shit. But then Yume has this thing where she's known to like when guys try to confess to her at school, she'll tell them to meet her up. And then she'll stand them up on purpose, and then just like blow them off completely, which is like it's a super dickish thing to do.
Yeah.
So right away, like Yomogi is, they're in the same class and everything. He's giving her side eyes, like he's interested, is how I'd put it, right? And it's clear to the audience that he's interested.
Going after it. He's taking his swing.
I don't think he is. Like he's interested, but he's heard all these rumors. So like. Early on, his friend group sees Yume like sitting on top of like it looks like an electric like house or something, like a little like a little electric storehouse or something like that. And they're like, "Oh, look at that girl! She's so weird. She keeps standing up guys." And then later that night, Yume goes up to Yomogi and is like, "Hey, meet me here later tonight at this bridge." And he knows full well that he's probably going to get stood up, but he's kind of excited to try to like confess to her anyways.
Okay.
But at that same point,
right before that, right by the river, he sees
Gamma.
Yeah, he sees Gamma.
Yeah,
dying, like being at his shittiest. That's
so he gives him half a sandwich.
Yeah, he gives him that little supreme sandwich, those egg sandwiches you see a lot in fucking anime.
Yeah,
but he's grateful. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna repay you, dog. Let me just like recover." How did he get there?
Who?
Gamma.
We don't find out till like the third to last episode, but he broke out of a museum. He was a mummy, and that's why he's got like the bandages on him.
Right.
So basically, the big reveal later on is the main villains is going to be 4 kaiju users, right? And every episode, like we'll all just talk about monster of the week kind of thing, they're just going to like summon and take control of some kind of kaiju or something. And then Galma's like associated with them, but the reveal is that they're all actually 5,000 years old. And 5,000 years ago, they lived in some kind of like desert kingdom or something. And the kaiju users used their power to help this country win a war. But once that country was out of that war and they were in a period of peace, they killed off the kaiju users because they saw them as a threat. But Galma was the only kaiju user that didn't try to defend himself against like the princess who he fell in love with and her kingdom, and just kind of like resigned to his fate a little bit. So then the princess of that kingdom used some kind of magic or something. It's not really described. Used some kind of magic to send them all to like hibernate them or send them into the future or something. And that's why he's a zombie. And also gave him he gave him Dynazenon. He gave him a 4-part robot that can Mighty Morphin Power Ranger into a bigger robot. And that's how in 5,000 years in the future, when he woke up, Galma would help defeat the reincarnated kaiju users.
And like what I like about that decision, that direction that they went here with like Trigger, is that every episode with the opportunity to seeing like the Megatrons, the Kaijus is almost like saying Kaijus is almost like lazy, because
honestly I was
like
Voltron. I was about to say it almost means big monster, but that's not entirely true anymore, because Kaiju number 8, like the Kaiju guy is like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure that's true anymore. The term Kaiju is really like lost its meaning. It just means monster, kind of just some kind of ambiguous monster.
Yeah. And they don't miss a chance to tell you that Dynazenon is gonna like get better every time, because they have like a pre-fight, and then they have like storytelling, and then they have like last fight, almost like every other episode.
Yeah, like Power Rangers was the same way. Like Power Rangers would be like every episode of Power Rangers was just like the kids are going through their normal day, whatever the fuck. Some random monster attacks, and he's like only 10 feet tall or so, and they're like, oh my god, guys, there's a monster, and then they get their ass kicked one time, and then like somebody pulls some new weapon or new power of friendship out their fucking ass. They beat it at 10 feet tall, and then he's like, oh well, I still have one more trump card, drinks magic giant potion, turns 100 feet tall, and then they have to use their Zords or whatever to defeat it, and then they get their ass beat, and it's the same fight over again. So then they get their ass beat as the Zord one time, and then they're like, oh my god, what do we do? Oh, did you know we have a giant sword too? And then they do that. So that's every episode.
Ooh, yeah.
So we know it. And Dynazenon knows you know that.
But in Dynazenon, like, it just, because of the power in animation, and you don't have fucking prosthetics to make like a build every time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just changes the transformation. It reminds me of Darling in the Franxx transformations.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it looks really cool.
Honestly, I want a Dynazenon too. It's like $100, but
because
donate me $100.
Yes, please donate.
Just me.
Between Nerds.
No, just me.
Between Nerds. That will be distributed evenly.
Honestly, we've been like loosely talking about like making like a Patreon, but like we kind of can't, because like I'm afraid that like I trust Aldo completely, but I don't want money to be involved until we have our LLC. I want the LLC bought so that we can have like a bank account, and we can like see all that stuff.
Nothing personal, it's just business.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, don't be mad at me. I'm not mad at you. I'm not saying you're like that.
No.
I'm just saying like once there's money involved, like I want to do it right. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So if y'all were to give us $100, like we wouldn't touch it until we had like $2,000 to buy the LLC for Between Nerds.
I think I did tell you, but I see like there's a podcast too, there's YouTubers too that they started talking about their books, because one of them does them, not the other guy. So he's like, I think it was an interview. Trouble, bro. It was an interview. It's like, have you ever taken? It was like a truth or dare kind of thing. Like, have you ever taken more money? I think they're asking each other questions like, have you ever taken more money than me, like in any contract? And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, but like in the books, like it just comes down to cents, and I just give myself those cents. Says I'm doing the books.
Well, I guess if it's under $1, it don't really matter. Yeah.
Like
I guess it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. But like when I was watching, I was like, holy shit! It's like, oh, some cents. I would do the same. I would do the same. I'm already doing the books. I would just put those cents into the book. Yeah.
That's so fast, bro. And that's what I mean. Like,
bro,
like some fights could happen over that. Like it's that isn't that the stat for like divorces too? Like 90% of divorces are because of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like money's terrible. Like this was supposed to be a system that's supposed to like help create a community, and it's just tearing us apart.
Well, I mean, taking consideration all the stupid guys there is in the world, right?
Yeah.
And then taking consideration all the like awful women that are in the world. And like, imagine just, I mean, I would be lying if I told you that I think that some of these bitches are just like, you know what, this guy's stupid, he's got money, I'm gonna marry him, have enough for 5 years with him, divorce him, and take everything.
Damn, depends what state you live in, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, if you play, if you play it long enough, you can make seem a divorce really easy.
Do you get those TikToks that are just like somebody playing like a mobile game, but like it's like a Reddit thread, like somebody reading a Reddit thread?
Oh yeah.
So I got that's the joke about like AMAs on Reddit. Like you don't know if they're cap or not, right? Because there's an anonymity on Reddit like that.
It's like, who are you and where does
right?
This happen?
Like it could just be somebody's whole imagination that they're just writing out. So, anyways, I got one like that the other day. That was like this guy was dating this girl, and then they got married. But like throughout their whole relationship, every once in a while, she would just ask for like some money. Like, oh, my car broke down. Oh, this bill came up. Can you help me? And he'd give her like a few hundred or maybe a couple $1,000s. And he was like a surgical resident at the time, so he was like kind of broke. You know what I mean? So they got married, and then like years after getting married, she fell asleep. He saw her phone, and like it was her ex, and like she. Like all the sums of money that he was sending her, like she was sending to her ex. Damn. But he lived in a state where if you're married for any point of time, the assets are 50-50 split. And him being a medical student had like $500,000 like debt. So he divorced her and left her with a bunch of debt, even though like she was stealing all this money from him. So like he one-upped her in the end. That was the point of that story.
I heard about someone having a fucking mistress who he was paying an apartment for who knows how long.
Okay.
That's just wild.
If he's paying his... Yeah, that seems like some rich people shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard stories, like, from people I know that, like it'll be a girl and her ex will be paying for her boob job.
Wait, what?
Like, they were together, he paid for her boobs, put it on his credit, and then they broke up later, but he still is paying that debt on her boobs like that. That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
That is insane.
Yes, sir.
Poor guy.
BBLs, bro, all around.
That's insane. Poor guy.
And that is crazy, but Dynazenon.
What are we talking? Okay,
I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I was telling you about how here. I even like one of the part of the dialogue of one of the guys who's like, "Oh, what you think I care? You transform into a bigger monster?" And then it's like, "I'm still gonna kick your ass." I'm like, "Bro, you're like at the end of the episode."
No, you're not. I know you're not.
Yeah.
Why lie to me in the audience?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny. I chuckled. Like I was like,
I remember what I was gonna say too. Something that I slightly liked more about Gridman also was that there's more transformations in Gridman. Because like Gridman, when he turns into a kid and loses his memory, his like agents or whatever, like the actual superhuman samurai cyber squad, like jump into that micro universe with him, and they're like his accessories as Gridman. So when he transforms into Gridman, he can have like giant robot arms or like wings, or like they can all transform together and turn into super mega awesome Gridman. So like there's only like 3 transformations for Dynazenon, maybe 4.
I like that they use the individual parts at first.
That's true too.
You know
because like that's what it was like in certain episodes of Power Rangers.
Seeing the fucking car just going around the city was wild.
But see, what I didn't like about that is the boat is the worst one.
Oh, of course.
The boat like absolutely is the most like kneecapped like robot accessory.
Like like every scene with the boat is just like
they try to make it overpowered because they gave it big rockets so that it can shoot them from far. But
the rocket kick is insane.
The rocket kick, but then like the car ends up being the most important one, or like the one that's an actual plane. That one's super important. You know what I mean? Because it's a fucking plane.
Yeah, I did like that they used the individual parts a lot.
Yeah. Well, it reminded me of which was it? Right before I graduated college, I told this story when when we watched Digimon Adventures, and I said I'd watched like all of season 3 of Digimon at like 22, right before I graduated college, because I didn't want to study, I didn't want anything to do. So I know the whole plot to Digimon Tamers. In like that summer, so a couple months before that, before watching Digimon, I had watched all of Power Rangers in Space for some reason. I don't know why, but I watched like 50 episodes of Power Rangers in Space. And I liked the episodes where what you're talking about, where it was the individual parts going in, because there would be certain enemies that were like, haha, I zapped you with my magic laser and now you guys can't transform. You guys can't beat me individually. There's no way. And then they, I don't know, pull out something out of their ass.
Fucking football play.
Yeah. So like I get what you mean. I like that too.
Yeah, and what we're talking about here? We're talking about
we haven't even mentioned we're doing it backwards, because like I mentioned the spoilers first. So like the kaiju users, which like they're the people that you see, they're the villains in like big white military looking coats.
Yeah, they look like Marines.
Yeah, they look like Marines, and basically, whenever kaijus just pop up in town, they can control them, which is also strange because it's like they never fully explain where the kaiju start coming from, really. So they came back in this timeline 5,000 years later because kaijus are the personification of human emotion turned into a 100-meter tall monster. Okay. So so the leader,
that's a thing that I thought, dude. That's the same thing that I thought.
So the leader of the kaiju users, his name is Shizumi. He looks like a child, but his whole thing is like, it's like an artist. Like the purest form of human expression is the most important form of humanity, right? So if kaijus are the literal, our demons, our emotions are demons personified literally, then that means that kaijus are more important than humanity. So the kaiju users want to support kaijus to overthrow all of humanity, because humans, it's like that humans are a virus argument. Like they destroy everything they come in contact with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do.
They do.
Some of them.
Yeah, but like I've heard that writing trope before, right? So
it's a whole Frieza thing.
It's Frieza. Well, no, Frieza was kind of just a bigot. Yeah. That's a little different. Yeah. Who would that be like? That would be like
Thanos?
Yes, that'd be like Thanos, because Thanos' thing is like there's a finite number of resources in the universe, and not people, but like all conscious organisms behave selfishly. So they're going to just keep destroying and taking over and like having wars about nothing over land and resources, because they're fighting over the finite number of resources. So if we just snap all of like of the conscious universe out of existence one day, then we're essentially resetting ourselves to like before there was actual like demand for those resources like that.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess if we're going about this backwards, and we talk about, you know, like the transformations and like the powers that they use, and
that's what I was going to talk about. The way I knew that it was a sequel, that it's in the same universe, is that there is a SSSS Gridman character in Dynazenon. Oh yeah. So what's his name?
It's Kid
Knight. They call him Knight.
Knight? Okay.
Yeah, the guy with the white hair.
Yeah.
The guy with the samurai.
I know which one.
So that's Grid Knight from SSSS Gridman. So like at one point in SSSS Gridman, the girl had made a kaiju that was entirely modeled off of Gridman. So he kind of like had Gridman's powers. He had the same shape. He was just some dude that jumped and did kicks, and like in that's what made him good. But like that kaiju also had a humanoid form because he's modeled after Gridman. So his name was Anti in SSS's Gridman. He was that little homeless child that was always running around eating out of the trash and stuff. So here, he's actually like part of the superhuman samurai cyber Sentai squad or whatever. So he's helping Gridman jump between universes, is my understanding. Jump between universes to help with these pocket dimensions caused by like kaiju users and kaijus inside of the grid. So he spends, after like episode 4, all the time with the Dynazenon squad. And like the biggest transformation Dynazenon has is all of the parts like go around Gridman. I mean, Grid Knight. Excuse me, I said Grid Knight. Go around Grid Knight, and I forget what that transformation's called. It's cool though. Like we're talking about like 150 meters tall, like big, like magical energy cape, and like they do that the Power Rangers thing where the robot gets like a crown.
Yeah,
and he's got a big cannon on his shoulder.
and as far as Dynazenon goes, in like each individual story. To like what I was talking about, like the motivations for the bad guys, to my point of like how they diminish like the conflict of the kaiju. I don't know. At some point, like the motivation of the bad guys just like dies out, and then just like keep on like.
I think it's because they realize that they're like you're right. Like it does that on purpose, and I don't. It doesn't feel like bad writing that the bad guys lose their motivation. It shows that they're actual dynamic characters that are learning, right?
Okay.
Because like halfway through when they do like the water park episode and they go bowling and all that stuff, they realize they're kind of fighting for nothing. Like they appeared in this world in Japan 5,000 years later, and they're just standing around waiting for kaijus that they can control to fight Dynazenon. But it's like, for what? Like destroy humanity? We've been gone for 5,000 years. Look at what humanity has accomplished without us. Like there's so much bigger. Even if you think of them as a virus, as a pariah. Like they spend time talking with all of the Dynazenon drivers.
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess when he came to the point of the fights, it just seemed like
they're not very involved with the kaijus.
Yeah.
They just kind of just stand in the background, do like a V with their fingers.
Exactly, because even our main crew of what, like 6 individuals, 5 individuals, 4 individuals.
Well, if you include Chisei after she befriends Goldburn, that's 5.
Okay, yeah, that's right. But they go up to like a module that they're in.
Yeah,
like everybody's in their own module, which is weird how they animate it because I don't get it.
Yeah, they have like monitors on their side. It looks like it
looks like they're inside the mouth because I see like fangs.
I think they're inside of their individual parts still, and they almost have like monitors on the side where they see the other people inside. Because like remember in Power Rangers when they would transform into the bigger robot, they would all end up in the head or in like the center console,
right.
And that's where they'd communicate.
Yeah, but when they did the Megazord, they all like couldn't join in like to this one thing, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
SSSS.Dynazenon's kind of like the opposite, where like everyone's staying in their parts, instead of actually going into like a hub,
which adds like this like no matter, like it doesn't matter kind of risk to it.
I think it makes it a little worse, especially in the early fights, because they feel like not together. You know what I mean? It's just like
you're alone.
Yeah, you're alone. You're fighting alone essentially inside of your giant robot. So like, okay, this homeless man I just met is yelling at me over this like VR headset. Like, why would I listen to him right now?
And it's crazy.
I do think the best episode though is the dream episode. I love that one a lot. Yeah. That one's real because it's like a lot of anime have done this before, and I feel like I haven't seen it in a while. There's like an NGE episode about this, where it's just like this idealized dream, this idealized world somebody could have, and that's the villain. Like, it's like the second to last kaiju. They all go in. All of the kaiju users go into it.
Demon Slayer, Dream Demon.
Yeah, it's like the train demon. Yeah, from Mugen Train, where it just like starts stealing people from the universe and interjects them into their own like idealized universe where whatever they think went wrong didn't actually go wrong, and then they can be trapped there forever, and that's how the Kaiju's gonna win. And the only one that doesn't fall for that is Yomogi.
That was probably my favorite episode too.
It's because it's really like the tone changes, the tone flips like crazy.
And you know what? Because and this is 12 episodes, guys. Like we're right here in episode 10, and like for 9 episodes already, we've been like just like strawberry picking, or what do you call it? Like when you pick your favorite. Like I don't know. It's just,
I get what you mean. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like it just
cherry picking.
Wrong fruit. Like this spiciness, almost, I want to say, this spice that they add to the story. They've been laying it on you like so, like crumbs and stuff, that by the time that you get into this episode, I was like, where are they gonna go with this? Then boom, they hit you with like, oh, we're gonna put him back in that situation of like the substance that we were learning about like our characters,
right? Which
is crazy,
right? So it meant something, right? So because like that whole time, like if you didn't know any better, you just be like, oh, I just want to see the kaiju fights. Why is there all this character introspection? What the fuck is going on? This is whack. Where's the kaiju fight? But then you get to the kaiju where the character introspection actually mattered, and you're like, oh.
And not only that, it just feels like a JoJo episode too, because it's like, yeah, you're gonna be trapped here, and because you want to be here, it's like you're gonna be destroyed.
Right. So the kaiju fight is significant because you actually see the culmination of all that character development. So like Yume, for example, we mentioned that her older sister died, and she's been spending like the past 9 episodes trying to figure out the reason for her untimely death. Like when a 16, 17-year-old dies, that's like a really big deal.
Yeah. Terrible.
So she was spending time like researching her ex, trying to figure out if he knew anything. She was trying to figure out if she was being bullied in the choir club, because the official story is that it was like a freak accident or something. And I can't remember. They never explained what the accident was, but it was a freak accident that had her killed. But Yume's trying to figure out if maybe it was self-harm and like it was being reported wrong. So that's why she saw old YouTube videos of girls in her choir club, which like looked like they were just having dumb YouTube fun, but could be misconstrued as like bullying. Mm-hmm. Like it was like gags and stuff like that, but it could have been misconstrued as bullying. And that's how Yomogi spent a lot of time trying to get closer to the girl he likes, because he would like follow her around, trying to like figure out the story of like her death, of her sister's death or whatever. Mm-hmm. So when Yomogi like busts out of his dream dimension and starts like breaking his way through other people's dream dimensions, he sees Yume, and he sees like what her idealized world is, and he sees like the history she had with her sister, and she wasn't even close. Like they had a really large age difference, and like her older sister was like the cute choir girl, so she was like semi-popular, and she didn't have time for her younger sister like that. So in Yume's ideal like dream scenario, she breaks out of her child memory, introduces herself as somebody that's the same age as her sister, and explains like, hey, tell me what happened, like did somebody hurt you, was it that ex-boyfriend, whatever, this is that. And she's like, no, like it was just a freak accident, I don't know what to tell you. But the lure of the kaiju showing you your idealized reality, Yume really considered staying there and not going back to the real world to fight the kaiju. And Yomogi busts through, he explains all that, and like there's still like I think it's good like direction, because there's still like this sense from Yomogi and the audience that he's not sure if she'll leave. But she's just like, Yomogi, like just get out of here. She doesn't say it mean. She's like, I understand, please leave. I'm going to talk to my sister real quick.
Yeah. Remind me of the Migi in Made in Abyss season 2.
No, absolutely. Oh, God, I can't even remember the bunny girl's name in Made in Abyss.
Yeah, me neither.
But that was part of Made in Abyss, where there was this character named Migi that...
Mr. Baby.
Yeah, that this girl was in love with, and she kept like selling her own humanity, her own free will, to like stay with her friend who had been wrongfully turned into a monster, kind of. So then the character development in season 2 of Made in Abyss is that she learns like, I can't, yeah, I gotta let go, and I gotta live for me a little bit. And that's kind of like the story Yume is coming to here too. And I mentioned earlier, like a bum character that didn't have a job, and like his room was really messy, and he kind of
No
like
one having an affair with this girl.
right. Oh, that was terrible
It was
too.
weird.
We
It was
we haven't
weird.
we haven't. So his name's Koyomi. We haven't talked to him at all.
It was like a domestic girlfriend kind of vibe.
He's a loser. Like he's so like he's the one that like the audience is supposed to put all their sympathy on, because it's like him and this girl found a giant sack of money when they were kids. And they told each other, let's just run away together. Let's just run away. Like they're like middle school age or something like that.
But they never grew up. They're still eating candy for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? They're all...
No, the girl did.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the guy.
The girl did, because her name's Inamato.
Girl, right? Yeah.
Inamato, and she's also the manager at Yomogi's part-time job. So anyways, Inamato and Yomogi...
yes.
had found a bag of money, told each other they were going to run away on a scooter and just live forever as a bunch of wild teenagers. But it's child fantasies, you know what I mean? Like, even in the memory inside of the kaiju, Yomogi's like, we don't even know if this money's real. We can't do that. So in the current reality, Koyomi's a shut-in neat, like that doesn't have a job and just kind of like stays in playing Switch all day with his like cousin who's he's convinced to not go to middle school. I
thought you were talking about her. But no.
No. So Inamato is now married, moved back to the city, and Inamato and Koyomi meet on the street, and they're like, it's a freak accident. Oh my god, have you been? I haven't seen you since school. What's going on? And like, for a second, you think that Koyomi, I feel for the guy, because there's like two plots in this anime where you think a girl's gonna pull him out of being a fucking loser, because it's both Inamato
and that Goro character,
right? It's both Inamato and the kaiju user Mujina. You think like are gonna like that's such like a shut-in neat like fantasy that like I'm such a loser and I don't have shit going for me, but someday I'm gonna find the perfect girl that's gonna like, even
if I date the bad ones,
right? That's gonna pull me by the fucking neck and like make something of me. You know what I mean? Like that's such like a fallacy to think that it's somebody else's responsibility to make you better. Yeah, that's such a fallacy. It's a faulty reasoning.
Hey, dude, and I mean, if you can't take care of your own happiness, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
I agree, and that's why I like his character so much, because like they like SSSS.Dynazenon, not explicitly, but that's the argument they're making. They're like, look, this guy, until one day he realizes that he needs to make something of himself, like is not going to get these girls that like have mild interest in him or just want to be his friend. Because even the Inamato thing, like they meet together. Oh my god, I haven't seen you since middle school. Let's go get drinks. Like let's go to the neighborhood little sushi and like sake bar, whatever. Like we'll get drinks. We'll hang out. And like he thinks it's a date. He blows off Dynazenon practice, and he shows up, and her husband's there, and she's like, "Oh my god, babe, this is my best friend from middle school. He was my best friend, and now that we're back, I want y'all to be friends." And like the husband doesn't even seem like a bad guy or nothing.
Yeah.
He's just like
her husband.
He's just loud and like very confident and like somebody that is his wife, obviously. So like it's whatever. Like it's a normal like adult relationship. But Koyomi is the one that like feels down in the dumps about it. He doesn't say a whole lot, but later on, when like his cousin Chise asks about it, he's like, I fucked up. Which that feels kind of adult. Like I feel like I've seen that before where guys will be like, oh, she blew me off. Why'd she bring him this and that? Like, doesn't she know that I like him this and that? But like, dude, she's an adult. Like, it's okay to have adult friendships. So, and he's the first one to say that. He's like, no, I fucked up. Like, she's an adult. We haven't seen each other in like a decade. She's married and she wanted me to meet her husband. That's on me for thinking it was something different, which that's real adult. You know?
Yeah.
I don't feel a lot of adult writing like that. Which I think is really interesting because like,
and that's why I liked it a lot too, because he wasn't a bunch of fucking high schoolers either.
Yeah, you know? I get what you mean. The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, okay, maybe you're on to something. Maybe you are on something. Because like it's funny how my brain just like makes up connections that don't exist, especially with these works that we watch. Because like before you came over today, I watched the first two episodes of Bocchi the Rock, which we're watching next week, and Bocchi the Rock, even though about like it's like K-On, like high school girls making a band, it's more adult. than K-On, like way more adult than K-On.
And I love K-On.
Yeah, I did too, but like K-On's like cute anime girls doing cute anime girl shit, which isn't bad. That's not bad. I don't mean that as a slight. But like Bocchi the Rock is really like what if somebody talented has like this giant YouTube following of 30,000 followers, giant. But she's socially inept. You know what I mean? She recorded for years inside of her closet, and she only learned guitar so that she could make friends by having a skill. So then one day she wakes up and she's like, dude, I really need to make fucking friends. So you just have this nerd, shut-in neat loser just learning what it means to actually run a band. And what I mean by actually run a band, it's like they're talking about like owing the club money. They're talking about like the dynamics of like how to make money on the side to pay the club if you don't make your minimum ticket sales for the money you owe them for putting you on. Like actual like
shit.
Yeah, actual running a band shit. And I like that a lot. And I guess that's the relation I'm making here. Dynazenon is like the more adult Gridman.
It's funny because working as a bartender at Mexican bars here in El Paso.
Okay.
I saw a lot of like Mexican banda, you know what I'm saying, going through the same things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my god, how are we gonna pay each other?
Hey, we need bands, and like
we don't even have money for our tabs right now.
You know the bands that did good because they were getting fucked up also. Yeah. Because they buy their own shit. They're like, yeah, it's like we need to make so much money tonight so we can get paid. Right. They'll just get fucked up and like they'll buy people some drinks, but like they are able to do that because they put on a good show. Right. Yeah.
This is completely unrelated to that story. I just think it's funny that like my brother, who's also like mixed Hispanic American, mixed Mexican American, like yes. he is going to school for engineering at Michigan,
the whitest place ever,
at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. And like he's bartending at a Mexican cantina bar. Hell yeah. They got the one mixed Mexican guy of all of Ann Arbor.
It's like C.
Yeah. Totally unrelated. I just thought it was hilarious. So anyways, so like
yes, the adult conflict here. It's a good.
Koyomi's cool. Yeah. So like his resolution after the kaiju fight, after everything, he does get a job. You know what I mean? Like later, like his character model for most of the anime is like a giant bowl cut. You can't see his eyes. Like lazy. Like over like a jacket too big for him. He's got bad posture. Basketball shorts. You know what I mean? He's a nerd. But then you see him later on. And he looks completely different. Like he's got a haircut. He's wearing a suit. He's not wearing a tie. But whatever. But
suit without tie, it's all right.
Nah, if you're gonna wear a suit, I think you should wear the tie. You don't have to wear a black tie.
Not if you're in Miami.
You don't. Okay, well that's different.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so you see his development throughout the whole thing, and I think what like broke my heart sounds dramatic, but like what what disappointed me slightly was that there's a couple episodes there where Mujina, like the female kaiju user, who looks like an older Yume, like kind of has like they're like, it's like Romeo and Juliet and Koyomi, like we're on opposite sides, we're enemies, but they have like they get along, they have like a spark almost, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I thought it was gonna happen. I was like, oh shit, like a cross enemy ship? I haven't seen this in forever. That'd be spicy right now. It doesn't happen. But Koyomi, no. Not Koyomi. Mujina is the first of the kaiju users to start doubting their mission. She's like,
great character design.
Great character. Yeah. You like the Navy Admiral uniform, but with the short shorts,
high-waisted shorts.
Yeah, but with the high-waisted shorts.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And heels.
Trigger. I don't know. And they do this fucking shot of like lording, so they'll image her like big on like the frame and like a guy seeing her like this or something.
Mommy.
Yeah.
They want you to mommy her.
They do a lot of lording shots. It's fucking hilarious.
I think that's a good way of putting it. I think that's and that's true. So like at a certain point, right before the final kaiju fight, like in episode 12, Koyomi and Mujina see each other at like a mall or something because he's at a photo booth at a mall to try to make pictures for his resume. Mm-hmm. And they see each other, and and honestly, I thought she was gonna say something, or he was gonna say something like, "Just run away from me." Like, just run away with me, and we'll run away from all this
Start
kaiju. Yeah, we'll run away from all this kaiju fight bullshit.
Baby
I thought that was gonna happen, but instead it's just kind of like, hey, I just want you to know that I respect you and I appreciate you talking to me, even though we were enemies. But next time we see each other, it's on sight. Like,
yeah, because she's always seen, like, up to this point, like, she's always been seen like the most threatening of, like, all the other kaiju users.
She's kind of a tsundere. Like, she's the most open to trying to make like interactions with like the enemy, but like, she's also kind of a tsundere. Be like, oh, you touched me. Now I gotta like kick your ass.
Me, dog.
Yeah, get it. Yeah. So like, she'll put him down, but then like, she's also like receptive a little bit. Like, she's an adult tsundere, which I think is funny. You don't see a lot of those. So then, still talking about the Dream Kaiju.
Yes.
That's where we actually learn the backstory of the kaiju users and Galma. Like, that's where Yomugi finally learns like what he really meant about being 5,000 years ago, like about the kingdom, the princess betraying them slash like trying to save Galma at the end. It's because Galma was the only one of the kaiju users that was like, no, dude, like, let's surrender our powers, like, let's be under the watchful eye of the government, like, you know what I mean? We are dangerous. I agree that we're dangerous. Like, they have a reason to be afraid of us.
And I really like that aspect of it because it turned it into like Moon Knight almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what it reminded me of, but I think that's it. I think
Moon
that
Knight.
is it. Yeah, that is Moon Knight.
And I do like the Egyptian kind of thing, tropey shit. That's why the Mummy was so good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why Indiana Jones was so good.
I feel dumb for not realizing it.
Yeah.
I feel dumb for not realizing it. That's funny.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's cool. The character design on Galma too it looks pretty cool. He has bandages and shit. Scars.
I'm surprised he's not cosplayed more because I remember when
easy to cosplay. I mean,
kind of yellow bandages. I guess that's the hardest part, but that's not that difficult. Yeah. But like that's what I think is crazy because like when the promo images started coming out for the Dynazenon like media rollout, he was the first one everyone jumped on. Who the fuck is that? But then like once it came out, like everyone liked Yume's character. Everyone like there's a lot of fan images of Mujina. Like, I'm just putting that out there. Like, I was just like loosely on the internet trying to research for SSSS.Dynazenon, and Mujina was everywhere. Yeah. Like, people absolutely adore this character design, which is cool because it's not like an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
it's
dope.
That's
dope. God, and that's pretty much it. Basically, after the Dream Kaiju, the final Kaiju is the leader of the Kaiju users, Shizume, just like is done with the shits one day. Like all the rest of the Kaiju users have realized that no more Kaijus are going to manifest anymore because they need like a seed, like a sapling or most, because that's how Chise created Goldburn through her like anxiety emotions.
I thought she was going to die. I thought she had the Kaiju cancer.
I thought so too. I thought it was going to be cancer because like she at the end of episode 1, after they defeat that first Kaiju as Dynazenon, she finds like what looks like a little cancer pustule or something. Yeah, like a little parasite, and she just keeps it. And then I forgot about it. And then episode 6-7 happens, and it's like, holy shit! It turned into a kaiju. And that kaiju has the power to like change the sizes of things.
But it's fucking weird because they know because there's a fucking NG-ish like congratulations moment at the end of the episode when she's like growing her like what we think is a kaiju cancer. Yeah, and she's like, guys, but like they're not paying attention to her because they're like talking amongst each other, but she's not being loud enough. That's what's being animated here. Yeah, and she's like, guys, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And then like the episode ends. And you're like, oh shit, she got the kaiju cancer. And then like and then the next part is like, oh, she grew a fucking kaiju out of it, right? Which was cool, which could like shrink stuff, but that's never shown again.
It's never shown after
the little baby face.
It's never shown after that again. It transforms into like a shield for Dynazenon. Yeah. It turns into armor for the Grid Knight thing. Yeah, it's got wings for Grid Knight. It like stuff like that. But then you're right, like you never see that again. But then, like, that's the only one that has, like, character. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only kaiju you see, like, it nuzzles her and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, the introduction to, our whole Dynazenon here, it was really cool. It was like a geographic, like, not geographic, like a just like an outline figure of what the robot might look like. Right. Which possessed, like, the kits that we have here in this crew. Right. It was cool.
No, I think it was real cool too. Something we haven't talked about yet, and I'm not sure how, is like I think the music in SSSS.Dynazenon is real cool.
Oh yeah, I like it. The intro and the outro are really good.
They're both really good.
You know the outro and the intro are good when my son dances to them.
Yeah?
Yeah. When my son starts just like I was like, yeah, it's a good intro.
Which is funny because those are like my favorite anime intros. Like those real like just uppity guitar riffs, just like the intro to the OP is just like what instrument is that? That's like it's like some strings and a piano, but it's upbeat. It's like dun and dun.
It just reminds me of like the piano guitar the electro thing.
It's like a rising beat, and then it just starts like. And then it just starts like this big instrument thing, and it's just like the actual animation is just showing this giant robot. Like, don't you think giant red robots are dope?
Play
like,
techno,
yeah, you don't want to watch this? Like, there's guitar and techno over this. You don't want to watch this? I'm like, yeah. What do you mean? That's right up my alley. I'm with
12
it.
episodes?
Yeah, I don't think I skipped it once. Maybe once. But like most of the time I watched it. And I think the ending is really apt too, because like it's more like soft guitar, like see you next time kind of vibes.
But it's playing you off. It's not.
It's playing you off, but then it's showing what the characters are doing outside of fighting kaiju.
It reminds me of what's that anime that at the Oh yeah, I think it's Darling in the Franxx. Doesn't the closing show the characters in real world?
Yeah, it just shows them like in high school and stuff.
Yeah.
It is Darling
in
the
Franxx. It reminds me like that.
The mid chapter panels in Darling in the Franxx do that sometimes too.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
Cool.
And but you're right. So then the outro will have like Galma doing like laundry and stuff like that, and I think that's really apt because like the very last one, like
people do laundry.
Well, he's not there anymore though. The very last one, like it's subtle, but like it's there. It's like people moved on. People went about their lives because they accomplished their goal. They solved the day. They defeated the kaiju users. There's no more kaijus. This universe is safe, and now their best friend Galma's gone. And that sucks, but like, holy shit.
I mean, he was a 5,000 old dude, so...
Yeah, and he says that too. He's just like, bro, I've been living for 5,000 years. Like, it's fine if I die. It's not that big of a deal.
And it's weird because it felt as if he was dying like the first time we saw him, like, with like hunger. It feels like it's painful for him. It feels like he's just on the ground like a dog, just dying.
It's one of those things where like he's getting like these big purple rashes over him.
Yeah.
Because like the universe is like rejecting him almost.
Yeah, the magic is gone.
Yeah, the magic is gone. Like he's a kaiju user. He's not a real human being. Like it's rejecting him, and that sucks. Like that's so sad because like a
leopard.
Everyone was starting to like him a little bit because like the very last kaiju, the Shizumu kaiju, like all of the kaiju users get eaten by him, so now they're super mega powerful, and the character design's crazy. This is like the one kaiju that they won't use CGI on because they don't want it to look like a big lumbering guy in a 6'2", so they actually animate it. And maybe they use like the colors in CGI, but it's actually like this giant white Godzilla looking motherfucker, like Godzilla 2000 with the long like neck or whatever, in like white. But then like once it eats the rest of the kaiju users, its chest opens up and all you see is this giant cavity of like energy, and it's crazy. Like it's the coolest looking kaiju I've seen in forever. For like I can't remember the last time I saw a kaiju that looked this dope.
Nah, man, it looks really, really, really good. I feel like,
and I've read all of kaiju number 8.
Hey, kaiju is gonna be really cool.
It is gonna be really cool. So maybe it'll look better in anime, but like they're all really cool. Maybe I'm just used to the character designs, but like the monster designs in kaiju number 8, I'm kind of over them. But then I saw this and I was like, hey, yo.
It's because Dynazenon is like, it's like Golden Dream. It's like JoJo's Gold. Is it Golden Dream? Yeah, it's like
Golden Wind.
Golden Wind. Yeah, it's Golden Wind. It's so like flamboyant about its own like genre, that is like, this is kaijus and it looks so good. Yes, I kaiju is some loosely used term for this, like robots and stuff like that, but like towards the end I appreciated it. It was really fucking badass. Like the cape they even put like on like Dynazenon or
when they fuse with Grid Knight.
With Grid Knight. It's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy.
I think it's so dope. And like to that same point, like it's so like an I'm here kind of statement. You know what I mean? It's so like cause you're right. I'm glad you brought up the JoJo's thing because I hadn't thought about it like that either. Cause like I saw the most recent cover page to the most recent volume of Baruto. And I said something like, oh, the artist for Baruto, I even quoted his name, I can't remember his name right now, is trying his best Araki impression, because it looks like that real, like, JoJo meets the Louvre kind of vibes. You know what I mean? Like, it's Giorno Giovanna, but, like, his neck is raised high. It's these high model poses and stuff like that. Because, like, as the more JoJo's goes on, like, it's not classic masculinism, but it's so masculine it's almost obnoxious at that same time. You know what I mean? Because like the more JoJo's goes on, the more feminine the characters get, but like you watch them in manga panels, in animation, and you're just like, well, they'd kick my ass. So like like I couldn't say nothing to him. Like, what do you mean?
No,
like
like the more this gets, like, the crazier they get.
Yeah, like, and you see it in Star Platinum too, because like original Star Platinum's like 12 feet tall, he's like 300 pounds, like.
And if you haven't seen our episode of Zoing JoJo's Star Crusaders, we talked about this. We're like, this is where what's that creator's name? Fuck, it's
Araki.
When Araki met Araki was right after Crusaders, because he's like, why am I still making fun of
Fist of the North Star?
Fist of the North Star when this is me? And he just went off on liking his 80s music, his 80s style, his 80s everything.
Everyone's shaped like Bon Jovi now.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. Like, I mean that in the best way possible. Like, everyone is shaped like Bon Jovi, which is dope.
Great transformation.
And that's kind of what, like, this final kaiju fight feels like here. It's just, like, big, gaudy colors and lights, and just like, oh, your regular giant robot's not gonna be able to defeat me? What do you mean? Like, I'm this giant fucking robot. But then, like, it kind of is a cop-out.
They
like,
do a JoJo.
Yeah. I felt like I heard that too. And then I feel like the resolution to that fight was a little mid, because it's just kind of like, by the power of friendship, like, let's just come together and we can beat this thing together. Which, like,
Guama's dying.
I knew that's what was gonna happen, right? Because that's how, like, the Power Rangers was. That's how just anime is in general. Like, so it's always gonna be just like, guys, stop bickering amongst each other. If we just use the power of friendship, then like we can power up this Megazord even better. And like, obviously, that's what it always was gonna be. So I knew that from episode 1 that's how the series was gonna end. But like, it's still a cop out, like a little bit. Like, it's not like, oh, we used our wits to like outsmart this giant kaiju that like it has the power of this giant laser or whatever. It was just, oh, the only thing that trips up that statement for me is Yomogi slightly uses the power of a kaiju user. That's the only thing that trips that up, so maybe I should retract that previous statement, but I won't. So basically, in previous fights, Yomogi, like, sometimes when there was a kaiju on the roof, he would do, like, the little V thing that the kaiju users do, and, like, try to semi-take control of the kaiju.
Well, he did, right?
He slightly did. Like, he got its attention and was
to
able
stop. Yeah, to stop what it was doing, because it was overpowering the.
It was trying to take down a building or something.
Yeah.
So then this thing, in this final fight, he's just like, maybe it wasn't a fluke. Maybe I actually can do it. So then, like, at that very last second, when they're getting blasted by the laser, he's just like, I forget what they say. They say, like,
Supreme Command or some shit
something
like that.
So he does that and just makes the laser point up so that it stops blasting Dynazenon. And that's, like, the first and only time you actually see it being used.
Yeah.
And with that final thing, they just big fucking laser blast punch the kaiju, and that's it. And the last word we hear from the kaiju users is Shizumi being like, damn Yomogi, you had the most aptitude to be a kaiju user. Like, you should have just been with us. Like, you didn't have to defeat us. But it's just one of those classic things where it's like, dude, you're being evil for the sake of evil.
You're the bad guy.
Yeah.
How dare you tell me I'm a turn bad?
And then the very, very... So then, essentially, Galma dies, or we think Galma dies, inside of Dynazenon during the fight, like, succumbing from his infection that he's gotten from, like, traveling to the future or whatever. And Knight and Knight's assistant, Second, her name is Second, right? Kind of just, like, take Dynazenon with Galma still in it into the grid universe. And the very last scene is... the second to last scene is they turn around... And, like, Knight and Second are like, wow, aren't you glad we're out of there? We did it. And then Dynazenon stands up, and you see the shine of, like, the dinosaur's lights light up. So that means that Galma's still alive inside of Dynazenon. And then the last scene is they're at the school festival, and Yume and Yomogi are still like they're dating now. They actually are dating, but Yume is still like slightly like she's still kind of difficult, you know what I mean? She's still like the difficult one in the class. Like she's gonna participate in like their play that's about like mummies or whatever, so they're all trying to dress up, and instead she gets shy and like runs away to like just kind of pout a little bit. So the scene that felt like something to me, because I'm reading the chapter of the Wavering of Haruhi Suzumiya that's about the school festival where Haruhi played guitar, and Koyomi was looking for Asahina in her bunny costume when they were serving like ramen or whatever. And that episode is also about like these two guys are helping these girls move forward in the school festival. You know what I mean? They're both socially outcast individuals. They're both popular because they're pretty, but like they're both kind of rude and like kind of inept socially. So they both kind of like stand up the girl in Dynazenon physically. Like he grabs her by the hand, holds her up, and she tells him like, call me by my first name, which like means something in Japanese culture. You know what I mean? Like normally you'd call somebody by their family name because that's a polite thing to do. Until you're familiar with somebody, you won't call them by their first name. So she's like, call me by my first name. He blushes, says it, and then they walk to the classroom holding hands, and that's like it. That's like, so like it means something. Like Yomogi brought Yume out of like her bubble and like helped her get over her sister's death. Yomogi did see his new future stepdad at the school festival, and like he was being nice with him and his mom, and he's being respectful, and he the stepdad never did anything wrong by him. He's just got beef because it's your stepdad. You know what I mean? Like,
you're fucking my mom, bro.
Yeah. So
you better not be fucking my mom, bro.
It like for something that's about like kids at a school festival with how it ends, like I think it's really adult. You know what I mean? Like Koyomi got his job, Chise is going back to school, and Grid Knight and Second are back in the Grid universe, ready for their next SSSS adventure. And I know that Studio Trigger loves this universe enough that they're probably going to do another one, so who even knows? It's probably soon, because Dynazenon already came out like 2 years ago. Yeah.
I thought it was really fun.
Me too.
12 episodes, like I'm telling you, up to the point that you get to the Dream Kaiju, like it pays out. It paid me out, because at least I knew what I was watching, but then I was like, what am I supposed to be paying attention to? Should I be paying attention to the Kaiju aspect of this? Should I be paying attention to like the character development here? So then again, and then I guess I slightly like remember the aspect of being a dream in Gridman, but then when you put Gridman in there, like it threw me off, like Gridman character in there, because if Gridman thing was a whole dream,
that means it was real, though.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
That means it was real, yeah.
And then, but it was cool. Like by the time you get to that episode and start seeing like the growing up, you know, of characters.
Yeah. It's and again, it's like FLCL in that way. Like it's a coming of age story a little bit. And I know we've got a couple of YouTube comments. I don't know if you've got anything else in SSSS.Dynazenon.
I do not. Great animation, great 3D modeling.
This is the third time we've watched Studio Trigger this year.
Yes. Keep doing your thing. And yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Nerd down?
Yeah, nerd down.
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
Welcome to Nerd Down, where nerds get down. Again, Drew Elias Aldo Mendez. We forgot to do our housekeeping notes in the middle of that episode.
Yeah, we did.
So I guess we'll do them.
We slightly did.
So I guess we'll do them right about now.
Yeah.
If you want to enter our December giveaway, please be a subscriber on YouTube and leave a comment on a YouTube video, or leave a positive review on any podcast hosting platform. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, whatever the fuck Deezer is, because we have like 10% of our downloads from them. Yeah, that's great.
Anything, yeah.
Awesome. And then, but the only thing is that if you leave a positive review on like podcast platforms, we don't get notified. So like, I have no idea like if somebody leaves a positive review. I also don't know who that individual is. So if you do leave a positive review, email us at betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com, letting us know that the positive review is you, and we'll get you some cool handpicked nerd stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we will get you a figure or some kind of collectible merchandise
for your fishnets.
Those are real fishnets.
Those are real fishnets.
We'll get you some real merchandise for your favorite piece of like nerd media.
Yeah. We're not gonna ask you what you want, but we're gonna get you something from
the heart.
From the heart.
From the heart. Christmas just ended. We're still in the giving spirit.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. December 26th. We're recording December 26th. I think this episode's coming out on the 28th.
Happy 8th day of Hanukkah?
Something like that. I think today was Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah, I do think today was Kwanzaa. I did see something about that.
I don't know a lot about Kwanzaa.
I know absolutely nothing about Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
But I know that like not that many people actually celebrate Kwanzaa. But to those people that do, it is fairly significant.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Hey, Sweden, Czech Republic.
Hey, yo.
14 in Czech Republic?
Yeah, we're
in our
ranked
own category of podcasts?
We're ranked 14th in the Czech Republic.
Manga and animation.
14. Crazy. I don't know how that happened. I don't know who in Sweden is listening to this nonsense, but I appreciate it. And these are stats only for like the audio only, like the actual podcast platforms that we're ranked in these countries. So like right now we're ranked in the USA,
like 240 something in our own genre.
Americans take up too much media.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But
like from us to like Joe Rogan, there's like 50,000 fucking podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I just think that like the countries we're ranked in is so random and crazy, and I'm so excited about it because like Sweden, Czech Republic, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and like places like that, like what? Like who's listening to me out there? That's insane. I can't imagine.
Yeah, but thank you guys for listening. Obviously, you know English. We don't know your country's languages, so. But anyways, I think whenever we do have enough money or we actually monetize enough, we can finally subscribe to Chartable. This is where we're getting this data from. Chartable is nice enough to like. We'd never subscribed to anything in Chartable. It was just like, hey, we see that you have a media out here. Here's a free email every once in a while of how you doing in Chartable.
Every week?
Yeah, every week. And then, but like the subscription is like $25 a month.
Yeah.
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 Which
Chartable's been good to us. They give us real good stats. With that being said, our YouTube shorts have been interesting as of lately too. Like, I think the last time we did it, but since the last time we did a Nerd Down, we've had our most successful YouTube short. Our Instagram's been getting like it just randomly popping off on certain days. I don't know what's going on with that one. TikTok, I don't know. People don't like us on TikTok. I don't know what that one's about.
We I don't know.
I like TikTok.
I like TikTok too.
I like TikTok, but like for whatever reason, our most consistent form of interaction is via Instagram.
Maybe we need to think about another format to put on TikTok.
Maybe
besides our format that we have now.
I'm with it. I'm down. Whatever, because like whatever we're doing now is working on Instagram, and I don't know what about those algorithms or what about those like types of audience groups like are resonating more on Instagram than TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Doesn't make sense to me. We've never blown up on Twitter either.
I don't know. We'll put our pretty faces close enough on TikTok and see if that helps.
Oh, that'd be tight, actually. And do you want me to start reading these comments?
No, yeah. Thank you for commenting on YouTube, everybody.
Yeah. So I'll go oldest to newest. How about that one?
Yes.
So on the main episode to episode 122, Licorice Recoil, What If John Wick Was an Anime Girl?
Licorice Recoil.
Fuck, I'm still fucking it up. Mr. Propagander83 commented, if you guys haven't seen Hitori Bochi, you should definitely check it out if you are a fan of slice of life comedy. It's very funny and sweet.
Hiroti Bochi?
So I just googled it. It's Hiroti Bochi no Maru Maru se Ikatsu.
Oh. Okay.
So me and you had a couple of drinks Friday. Mr. Alderman is with a friend of the podcast, Christopher James.
Yes, sir.
And I brought up this comment, and I googled this name at the time, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? I've never seen this in my life." It is ranked number 1,784 on my anime list. Popularity number 1,046.
Okay.
So, but it has 202,000 members, which is not insignificant.
Yeah.
It seems a little. Even more slice of lifey than I'm used to, but we are saying all the time that if we get recommendations that we will watch them.
Yeah.
So this is on the schedule. I don't want you to make it. I don't want to make you think that it's not, because you commented and gave us some genuine feedback, and he also said he loved the podcast.
Yeah,
he subscribes and listens, so like I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yo, wait on that one until like probably
after March.
After March, do we have all January mix?
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. So
right?
so maybe it's the end of January, because
Maybe
like all of February and March are filled.
Yeah.
Because February
Feelings
February, we have a Valentine's Day themed month.
March Madness, not sponsored.
Yeah, March Madness in March, and we do just sports anime. So the February one, I think so far is like the Violet Evergarden movie. It's quintessential quintuplets. I want to say it might be Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. And one more, I can't remember what it was. I have it written down somewhere. And then February is looking like it's going to be that soccer one you remember from your youth.
Yes, Captain Tsubasa.
Captain Tsubasa.
Yeah.
Haiku. God, we had the golf one, the birdie golf one.
Yeah, the birdie one, and then the mountain, the ice climbing one.
The ice climbing one,
yeah,
right?
The French movie. I'm looking forward to that one.
So we're booked all of February and March, but
maybe end of January.
End of January,
you'll be seeing that, and we'll give you a comment right now of like, hey, check out Nerd Down episode 123. You know what I'm saying? Of Between Nerds, and we're responding to you now.
Yeah.
And what else did we get? We get one from Valentin. Thank you, Valentin, for letting everybody know in comment section that with this comment, you will be entered to the giveaway.
Yes, absolutely. Which like he's trolling, but then like he's also
absolutely.
promoting, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because like with this comment, am I automatically enrolled into this giveaway? It's like my whole spiel that I like just repeat without even thinking about it at this point. Mr. Andy Soto on today's clip, titled Between Nerds, is looking for your comments and anime recommendations, which was a clip from the Lycoris Recoil episode.
Lycoris?
No, it's Lycoris. I keep saying licorice, it's Lycoris.
Oh,
I keep saying licorice, it's Lycoris.
No, it's licorice. You keep saying Lycoris.
I'm so confused. Anyways, Andy Soto said Devilman Crybaby, and I assume he means that as a recommendation. We actually did watch Devilman Crybaby. We watched it almost a year ago. It was like January 20th, 2022, something like that. Episode 79 was Devilman Crybaby. In this room, it was audio only. We weren't recording yet, because I don't think we started recording on video until like April or May or something like that.
Oh yeah, it was when I lived there.
No.
Oh, no.
I've lived here for 2 years.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
No.
Sorry.
But yeah, like I remember you didn't like Devilman Crybaby at the time.
Yeah, it's not that I didn't like it. It was just.
You also had a lot going on, so I feel like you were a little distracted when you watched it, because you were like moving or something.
No. Well, I just had finished moving.
Okay.
I just had finished moving.
Okay.
But like when I watched it, it was the writing seemed so cheap to me for some reason.
And Devilman Crybaby is the most close anime adaptation of like a really, really classic manga named Devilman from the 1980s. So I've always liked it. I feel like I resonated really well with it. And like, it reminds me of a clip I posted maybe last week about how your sense of humor and taste are a lot darker than mine. I remember walking into that episode thinking that you were going to like it a lot more than you actually did.
No, man, because I feel like it just... like the dark aspects of it, it was just mostly about kind of Berserky, but Berserky done lazy. I don't know.
It's about like, what if you had like Berserk monsters invade modern Japan and they actually overthrew like all of humanity.
Yeah, we're talking about like Jujutsu Kaisen kind of area.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah.
You know, but like, I don't know. It just also, it felt super explicit as far as like sexually explicit.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Like Shipley,
like raping a harpy and shit.
Yeah, it just felt really weird. I don't know. It just felt like
I get that. It's cool. It's graphic.
Yeah, it's graphic, but with no sense to it. To me, I don't know. It was weird.
I understand that sentiment. I think that's just like a difference. You know what I mean?
Please watch that episode. What episode was it?
79.
79.
And at Daniel Bernick 8796, who goes by the title YouTube Customer Service, commented, yes, so scary. And the clip he's referring to is the same clip I just mentioned. The Between Nerds wants your comments, and it's about Aldo talking about how people are too afraid to jump in our comment section and give us either criticism, feedback, or recommendations.
Hey man, I'm thinking long term. Whenever we do have a lot of time to make part of our time producing this podcast. This anime
hey,
podcast.
yo, I'd love to produce a podcast. Hire me as a writer. I'd love it.
But like, if anything, sometimes we can like auto-generate a phone number where if we are streaming and being live, like we can like, hey, if you want to call in and say something stupid, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's been enough time to edit all this shit, and that's what I'm saying. Like in long term, like, hey, if you guys right now, the only way we can communicate with you is by you commenting.
Yeah, basically. Or like all of our social medias that I mentioned earlier, we are very, very active on. Like I'm on that shit all the time. Like I'm going through our Instagram likes all the time, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all that. And like I'm on our email all the time. That's how I notice our Chartable like weekly digest or whatever it's called. And so like any way you guys want to communicate with us, we're with it. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I don't know. Have you got into anything nerdy? You got this? You got into this?
I finally... Well, I mentioned this in the episode we recorded with VNA, that I ordered this Hypeland hoodie like 5 weeks ago. And I was disappointed that I didn't come in time for our episode on the Chimera Ant arc. So I'm happy to have this Pito hoodie. I haven't taken it off in like 4 days. I have. I'm just kidding. But like for real, I've worn it for like 4 days.
The last 3 times I seen you. You're like,
I was just always in this hoodie. It's because like I feel like I haven't had a new hoodie in a while. I feel like I'm like a freshman in high school again. Just like it's my comfort hoodie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
you go to school in the hoodie. You go to bed in that hoodie. You're just
no. It's a nice hoodie.
I appreciate it. And what else have I gotten into? I did beat Cyberpunk 2077 since the last time we spoke.
You're excited for the new DLC?
I'm excited for the new DLC. I didn't realize until after that there was a secret ending I could have gotten, so I think I might go back into my previous save and actually try to get the previous ending. Because the ending I got is I romanced the girl that lives in the Badlands or whatever. You watched that happen. You watched part of that happen while I was playing one time. And basically the resolution is just like you can overthrow the big organization, the big Yakuza org that's like that made the virus software firmware that has Johnny Silverhands invading your brain, but you're still gonna die in 6 months. But at least you can go like into the Badlands and break into Mexico to live your final days just relaxing and chilling or whatever it was, or it might have been New Mexico. So and I think it's cool. I think a lot of the gameplay got a little redundant after a while because when I was playing, like, it's ginormous. Like, the city feels so big all the time, but like every mission feels exactly the same after a while. It's just like, hey, go, I need this thing, or I need you to inject this virus in this one computer in this one location. You can go via one of two ways. You can either do it stealthily or just like go in there and just shoot everybody. And every mission's like that. And there's no repercussions most of the time for like not doing it one way or the other. So it feels like they wanted it to be bigger. They wanted it to be more dynamic. But like again, CD Projekt Red like bit off more than they could chew with Cyberpunk 2077. Obviously because it wasn't even playable day one. And then, what else have I been getting into? I saw the trailer for the Nier.
You saw Avatar.
I saw Avatar: The Way of Water. It didn't feel like 3 hours. I feel like, I don't know what's up with me. Like, I feel like I've been in 2-hour movies that felt longer than that.
Oh, yeah.
And it did you watch it?
No, I haven't. But I watched the first 20 minutes of Black Adam. And that felt long.
I don't want to watch Black Adam.
No, really dude, don't.
I really, really don't want to. No. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people would rather watch, like, Black Adam than, like, Avatar: Way of Water. And, like, I thought Avatar was perfectly fine. I don't think it, like, blew the lid off what, like, modern cinema is, but I do think it does have groundbreaking animation, much like the first Avatar did, because the first Avatar was like the best 3D animation, like that style of digital animation ever looked.
Well, you were telling me that like it spends most of its time, like a third of the movie or 2/3 of the movie in water.
Like 2/3 of the movie underwater.
Yeah.
So I see what
They got out of the theater like this.
Yeah, well, I see what James Cameron meant about being like, I wanted to wait until like the technology to actually animate water was up to stuff until we made this movie. Because yeah, like I'm driving out of the theater later that day and I'm just like, why do I feel like I'm still like swimming through water? Like everything around me, like it's so crisp, it's so clear. The physics I never like, especially with water physics, like something about like that uncanny valley when it comes to water, like your brain just notices that it doesn't look right. You see that all the time in video games and even CGI animes and stuff like that. But like Avatar: The Way of Water, you could have told me that they recorded actual underwater scenes but then put CG models inside of it and I might have believed you. Honestly, I almost would have believed that. Like, it looks so good underwater.
Yeah.
But then the plot is still like, it's still very simple, but it's still messaged because like the first one is essentially Pocahontas, right? Or like
Trail of Tears.
Or the Trail of Tears, like, you know, like industrialization and capitalism keeps like invading on natives and it's hurting their naturalist way of life, right? And they're the ones that understand how the planet actually works. That's the first Avatar. The second one is still that happening. But then I saw a tweet like the day before I saw the movie that almost like it's so simple, but it ruined it. It read something like Avatar's funny because it makes the argument, what if you're making the argument that the Iraq War is bad because it would make the whales sad? And that's kind of what the Avatar way of water is. Like that's exactly what it turns into after a while. Which is like cool, but it's like but then it has these James Cameronisms that I feel like a lot of people haven't talked about in a while. Like in the old Terminators and stuff like that. The bad guy never dies. Even in movie, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, we killed the bad guy, walks away. Oh no, the bad guy's back. And then like 3 or 4 back and forth in the last act of the movie, having this last like final battle with the bad guy, and you think he's died like 3 or 4 times. That exact thing happens in fucking Avatar: Way of Water, where just like 3 or 4 times, like you think they got away, and it's just like, oh no, that other kid got kidnapped. Oh no, that other kid got kidnapped. Oh no, that other kid got kidnapped, and they keep having to go back in there, and I'm just like, oh my god, like like if they were going to shave down any time, I think it should have been on the 3rd act, if anything.
Okay, on the kid kidnappings,
bro. It gets, that's the only part that drove me crazy. Like which is normally the opposite. You know what I mean? Most movies like, oh, I wish they'd trim some time in the intro or trim some time in the middle act or like gotten to the action sooner. But like the issue is the action. Like it's so redundant and so like just you wouldn't pull your hair out. Yeah. Like these characters are dumb.
You could say that it's like SSSS.Dynazenon. Like the action is like almost fan servicey at one point.
Yeah,
you know,
a little bit. No, you should watch it. I think you should watch it.
No, I'm definitely gonna watch it. Baby Yoda. I'm definitely gonna we'll probably go this week if anything. To movies.
Honestly, I think like the week between Christmas and New Year's is a really good time to do things. You know what I mean? Like offices aren't very productive. Most businesses will be open. Like I used to love going to the movies on Christmas Day.
Hell yeah, that's the best day to go to the movies.
Absolutely.
And Thanksgiving too.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. Yeah. So honestly, talking about recommendations, I don't have a video game I'm playing right now. So if you all have any video games you want me to play, because like
I just recently got back into Red Dead Redemption 2. Well,
online. that's what I was telling you and CJ on Friday. I was like, do I play Red Dead Redemption 2? Do I play The Witcher 3? Do I play like that Star Wars game?
Look, the story mode, and I don't know if this is true or not, because in games like Red Dead Redemption or like GTA, I'm not going to go back to the story necessarily just because he might have an alternative ending. But I saw a couple of TikToks that tell you that if you do a certain mission differently or wear a different thing or use a different gun or some shit like that, it will alter...
Like if you roleplay the game better?
Yeah, it will alter the way of like how the ending is. I don't know if that's true. Don't get me wrong. It's a big ass game. It's a big ass file. Like the game file is really big, and like the updates and everything, and the online mode gets very big. Don't get me wrong. It's possible that it has those endings because you only have to make like certain tweaks here and there to give it an ending.
Well, honestly, that makes me want to play it more.
Yes.
Because I think we play games differently. Because like I play games like that, like open world RPGs, to role play it.
Well, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Because Arthur dies of pneumonia in my ending.
Is the main guy Arthur?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know.
You know what I'm saying? And sorry to spoil it, but like you know this from playing the first Red Dead Redemption.
Didn't play it. I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyways, it says that in this part when you're beating up this guy for money and he cuffs on you, like if you would have worn a
Coughs on you.
Yeah. Coughs
Okay.
on you.
Okay.
If you would have worn a mask, you would have gotten tuberculosis.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So like
that's sneaky because that's how
you know what I'm saying.
that's
like,
how the secret ending is in Project 2077 in Cyberpunk 2077 is. It's like in this one interaction where Johnny Silverhands is like sitting you down. He's like, all right, what's the game plan? Like, what are we going to do for the final mission? If you don't answer and you just stay on that screen blank for like 5 minutes, then the character will just jump in and be like, all right, you got it, buddy, just me and you. And the best ending is the suicide mission. That's a secret ending you get if you're actually been doing like Johnny Silverhands' missions and you don't make an interaction at that screen. Which that's hard, you know what I mean? Like how would you ever know to wear a mask at that mission? That's dumb. Like what?
Exactly.
How would I ever fucking know that? How would you ever know that you're just supposed to stay empty on that screen in Cyberpunk? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Did you remember Area 51?
yeah.
In the first level, if you shoot all the allies, the next level you turn into an alien and you have to kill the allies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all. That's crazy. And honestly, I've been seeing a lot of trailers for the new Harry Potter game. I think I'm going to pre-order it.
It looks cool.
I know
dude.
that's whack, but
no. It looks cool, dude.
It's because like
it's because it's something like that the Full Metal Alchemist thing that we have with like alchemy is like,
yeah.
Don't tell me you're gonna use magic if you can't use magic.
And this is like the first time that we can actually be in there like doing magic and stuff.
And like in the game, it looks fucking cool. You can summon your broom. You can.
They put the deadly curses in there too.
Yeah, Deadly Hollows.
Yeah, no, not the Deadly Hollows.
Oh, you mean like the fatal curses?
Yes,
Oh,
they put the
Avada
What do they call the immortal curses? The illegal curses? They put those. Yeah, so it's Avada Kedavra, the controlling one, and the other one.
Yeah,
so yeah, those are in there. They showed those in a trailer.
That's cool.
And that's what worries me is that it looks like they put too much into like the
gameplay trailers,
the customization. I don't care about customization.
Yeah. Just give me.
Right, just put me in there, give me a bunch of quests and missions, and I'm gonna go out there and be a little fucking wizard. Whatever. That's what I want to do. But most of the trailers have been like, oh look, you have this part of Hogwarts that you get to customize, and look, you
like
have this.
Sims. Someone.
Yes, I don't care about that. I don't like that. And then
My girl digs Sims.
Oh god,
Yeah, 'cause she builds a house and then she finishes it and she builds another.
Get her the Harry Potter game, because also not only are you customizing that room, but then you can also befriend and capture magical beasts. So then there's like 5 sections that you can customize the areas to put the magical beasts in. So there's like a meadow and a magical swamp and like all this other, and like it's just like, oh guys, look, you can put
That better not be 75% of the
that. I hope not.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping, because I just want to role play being a student at Hogwarts. That's why I want to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, give us the Sorting Hat quiz in the beginning. Like, let me actually. I want it to be like Bully. Did you ever play Rockstar's Bully?
I did.
I want it to be like that, but Harry Potter.
I did.
That's
yes.
all I'm looking forward to in this game.
Yeah, that game was really good.
And Bully, if for anyone that hasn't played it, is just GTA, but you're at a boarding school in England. Yeah. And the only issue I had with Bully at the time was that it's short. It's like 15 hours or some shit, which is like nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I just spent 60 hours like playing Cyberpunk 27. I spent like almost 120 playing Persona 5. So like 15 hours for a game is absolutely nothing. But like, I hope it's just really long and just get to roleplay forever, and I get to roam and just like do missions, and that's what I'm hoping for in this game. I think I'm gonna pre-order.
I did see Violent Night, the new Santa Claus movie.
Oh,
the rated R one. Really fun movie, dude.
Did you like it? You did like it?
Like, we just went not expecting anything. No expectations. We went in there, Violent Night, a Christmas movie, Santa Claus movie. We didn't know exactly if it was going to be the real Santa Claus or a fake Santa Claus. It turns out to be the real Santa Claus. But, like, it's really cool.
But, like, what's cool about it?
I don't know, man. Just,
like the gore?
It's a fun... Yeah, like, the action is good. Maybe the setups to the action, maybe it's a little bit too tropey for Hollywood.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But like, its resolution throughout those moments is really good. It's a fun movie. It's a Bad Santa meets John Wick meets Home Alone.
I feel like I haven't seen good horror in a while.
It's not horror. It's completely not horror.
It's not?
No, it's an action movie. It's like it's like Home Alone meets Die Hard meets John Wick meets Santa Claus.
Do you think Die Hard's a Christmas movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Karen doesn't.
It's a great movie.
We've been having this argument all weekend whether or not like Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It takes place during Christmas.
Does it?
Yes,
I don't even remember. Has it been that long since I've seen Batman Returns?
Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. Yep.
It was so long ago. I don't even remember. I was like a kid when I saw that. No, it's been. I'll take your word for it. And then I was having this argument with Valentin Hernandez Jr. on Twitter about like who the most iconic like 90s cartoon superhero characters are, and he was trying to make the argument that it was, I can't remember, he was trying to say it was from like the early 2000s 90s Justice League.
Oh yeah, Hawk Girl.
Yeah, and then like Canary's in that one, Hawk Girl's in that one, and then like the girl that's like a cheetah or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I gave my typical answer. That's like obviously it's Black Cat in Spider-Man 1996.
Oh.
You say Rogue
90s
X-Men?
Rogue 90s X-Men, yeah.
The cartoon?
Yeah. My girl got mad at me because I had that on the background. She's like, why do you have that? I'm like, what do you mean? It's a cartoon character. I was like, that means I'm not going to keep going. That means I need to change it. She didn't get mad at me. She was passive aggressive about it.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Like, so you'd rather not have your son or I?
It says it's Rogue.
Nah, I would say Rogue. Rogue was super dope.
That's not a bad answer.
Yeah.
Like especially that one where she's got the like the long curly hair and like they were still doing the body suits. That's not a bad answer either.
Probably Black Widow's the worst out of all of them.
Out of her 90s character model?
Yeah, even She-Hulk is better than her.
Well, 90 She-Hulk, some random person like replied to me being like, nah, it's 90 She-Hulk. And they
cool.
showed a clip. I didn't even know she had a show in the 90s. And then they showed that clip and I was like, oh, maybe. Like, whoa. I think you just opened up my eyes. I don't even know. And, God, what else are we talking about? That might be it. I don't know.
I think that's it. Yeah,
you think that's it?
Yeah,
okay. My name is Drew Filippoulias. This is Aldo Mendez.
Episode 133 of Between Nerds.
This has been Between